We understand the Department of Education is doing all they can to try and solve this issue of young pregnant learners in school. Can you tell us more about the resolutions that, of course, the department is currently looking into?
Let me start by saying that it is a concern to the Department of Basic Education and the entire sector for learners to drop out of school because of pregnancy. Because pregnancy should not be a reason for dropping out of school. Because as a department, we support learners who are pregnant and arrange catch-up programs for them to be able to continue with their studies and even prepare for examinations. But in terms of what we do to prevent that, we have various programs in place, life skill programs, as well as life orientation programs, where learners are taught about peer pressure, sex education, and how to take care of themselves. We have all of those in place, but it's important to indicate that the pregnancies do not necessarily happen in school. It's a challenge that we have as a society, and there are various reasons for that.
And besides pregnancy, what other factors or issues are associated with young girls or even young boys dropping out of school?
Well, there's various reasons. One of them is there's a situation where some of the young people have to drop out of school because they want to go and find employment to support their families. Some of them are imprisoned. Some of them, they die, unfortunately. And as a result, we have reduced numbers of learners in the education system.
Now, we also understand that since the beginning of the new year, the academic year of 2014, already 8 girls have been reported to be pregnant and have already dropped out of schools reported in KwaZulu-Natal. I mean, are schools allowed to expel pregnant girls? Are they even allowed to give girls an option of dropping out?
No, schools are not allowed to expel any learner because they're pregnant. In a school environment, there will always be a teacher or 2 or 3 who is able to assist a learner who is pregnant. And in some schools, they even keep track of all the learners who are pregnant, and they register them as they report such pregnancies, and they are supported. The days that they take off to go and see a doctor or go to a clinic, those dates are registered, and the time that they spend away from the school is also made up for when they return to school. So there's all the support that the learners need for them to be able to continue with their studies. So schools are not allowed, the Constitution doesn't allow that, but as well in the school environment we have support systems for the learners. And
does it mean that the teachers that, of course, educate these learners in schools, such as your life orientation teachers, are they then trained to be caretakers of pregnant young girls in schools? Are they trained to give appropriate advice to these pregnant young girls in schools?
Yes, they do, because they form part and parcel of the formal programs that we have in school. We have a program called the GEM-BAM, that is Girls Education Movement and Boys Education Movement. It's a structured program that involves young people who are taught about peer pressure, who are taught about health, who are taught about sexuality. They are taught about how to interact and respect each other as young girls and boys, and how they can work towards succeeding in their careers and personal development. So all of those things are part and parcel of that program that is administered by these teachers.
Now, we also understand that the Schools Act of 1996 allows teenage mothers to return to school after the baby is born. How is the Department of Government intervening with this Act, of course, of 1996 in 2014?
No, we continue to adhere. I mean, that's the law of the country. We continue to support these learners. That's why we urge learners who are pregnant to report as soon as possible to the school so that appropriate measures can be put in place to support them. And we also encourage them to come back to school so that they can continue with their studies, because, as I said, there are catch-up classes that are arranged for them so that they're able to learn everything that they missed and be able to prepare for their exams. But that's the last resort. The first prize is for them to be able to prevent such pregnancies from happening. And we also give them information on a regular basis, in fact on a daily basis, because all these programs are embedded in the curriculum. So it's something that they are taught in school, but we also urge parents to play their role in ensuring that they advise their children to take care of themselves, behave in a way that will not get you into such inconveniences, because it can have a negative impact in your studies. Because as a young mother or as a young father, it means now that you need to begin to take care of a young child as well, and you are not even in a position to do that because you're still in school. So it can cause some instability in the family. So the best thing to do is to prevent this, and the message is that abstain or safe sex.
And for those schools that, of course, are not practicing the Schools Act of 1996, which allows, of course, young girls to come back to school after giving birth, which also allows school learners who are pregnant to still attend school, what policies can you just briefly inform them about, society at large, the schools at large, the principals, I mean, the SGBs at school, with regards to the Department of Education's policies?
No, most of the people you mentioned are aware of the policy. I think it's in the Constitution. No one can be denied education for whatever reason. So it is important that all those involved should just adhere to the prescripts of the Constitution and respect it, because it's the ultimate law that we have in this country. So it's important for everyone to stick to that.
All right, Elijah Mahlangu, thank you so much for joining us. All right, you are still watching AM News, and we continue with the news shortly after this.